Are you a green card applicant anxiously checking the Visa Bulletin each month, hoping for some good news? Well, you're not alone, and this video is exactly what you've been waiting for. The August 2025 Visa Bulletin is right around the corner, and today, we're diving into realistic predictions based on current USCIS processing trends, Department of State movement patterns, and what recent updates are signaling for your priority date. Whether you're in the family-sponsored F1, F2A, F3, or employment-based EB2, EB3, EB5 category, we're breaking down what changes you can expect, which categories might finally move forward, and which ones may stay stuck or even retrogress. We'll also take a close look at final action dates versus dates for filing and explain exactly how those shifts can impact your wait time and interview scheduling. We're not just throwing out numbers, we're using official data, past bulletin trends, and real-time applicant feedback to give you predictions you can actually trust. Plus, if you're wondering whether now is the right time to submit your I-485, plan travel, or prepare for your interview, this is the information that can help you make those decisions with confidence. So if you're serious about your immigration journey and want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you watch this video till the end. We'll also share tips to speed up your case and avoid common delays many green card holders face. If you're ready to take control of your green card journey, hit that like button so more people like you can stay informed and empowered. Let's dive in. Now that we're all on the same page, let's take a deep breath, because we know how stressful this whole process can be. For many of you, this isn't just about checking a date on a government website. It's about families being reunited, careers taking the next step, and lives moving forward after months or even years of waiting. And with the August 2025 Visa Bulletin on the horizon, the tension is real. Let's begin with where we are right now. The July 2025 Bulletin brought some movement, especially in the employment-based categories. EB1 remained current across most regions, which was a relief. EB2 and EB3 had a slight forward movement for India and China, but not nearly enough for most applicants stuck in that massive backlog. And F2A, family-sponsored, for spouses and minor children of permanent residents, remained current, but we're seeing signs that could change depending on upcoming demand. So what's likely to happen in August? We're going to break this down, category by category, and I'll walk you through what we expect based on patterns from earlier this year and recent DOS and USCIS behavior. Starting with EB2, this category has been especially frustrating for a lot of folks, especially Indian nationals. Backlogs continue to be a major problem, and even though we've seen some incremental forward movement in the last few bulletins, it's been far from consistent. However, there is a glimmer of hope for August. Based on internal data and the visa cap for the fiscal year, we could see a 10 to 30-day advancement for EB2 India. It's not earth-shattering, but in this game, every inch counts. For EB2 China, we're anticipating a similar or slightly larger jump, as usage is a bit more flexible there. For all other countries, EB2 should remain current. EB3 is the next hot topic. For many of you, especially nurses and tech professionals, EB3 has felt like the most promising lane until it stalled out mid-year. Well, here's the good news. Our forecast suggests that EB3 could see modest forward movement in August 2025. We're predicting 15 to 45 days of advancement for India and China, and it's possible that EB3 for rest of world remains current. But here's the catch. If demand spikes in late July, DOS might slow it down again. That's why it's critical to track not just the bulletin, but also USCIS receipts, interview trends, and real-world processing behavior. Now let's talk about the family-sponsored categories, which, frankly, don't get the attention they deserve. If you're a U.S. green card holder sponsoring a spouse, a child, or a sibling, this part is for you. F2A is still current, which is fantastic, but again, that could shift depending on volume. The State Department has been careful to avoid overloading the system. F2B and F3 have been inching forward month by month, but with summer processing in full swing, we could actually see a slowdown, especially in F3, where sibling petitions often get deprioritized. Now, I know, this all sounds like a lot of numbers and bureaucratic predictions. But here's why this matters. Your life decisions depend on this. Many of you have put travel plans on hold, delayed job offers, or are stuck in limbo waiting to file your adjustment of status. And let's be real, it's emotionally draining. Waiting without knowing when things will move again is one of the hardest parts of this process. But here's where it gets real. Behind these bulletins are people, real families. I recently heard from a viewer who's been waiting 6 years under F2B to bring her adult son from the Philippines. 6 years of missed birthdays, graduations, and holidays. Now, with some movement predicted in August, she might finally be able to see the finish line. Another subscriber, an EB3 applicant from India, had his date become current for just 1 month last year. He rushed to file, and because he was ready, he's now in the final stages of getting approved. That's the power of staying informed and prepared. Now, let's talk about final action dates versus dates for filing, because this part still confuses a lot of applicants. The final action date or FAD is what actually determines when your green card can be approved. The dates for filing DFF, on the other hand, tell you when you can submit your I-485 application. And this is key. USCIS doesn't always follow the State Department's filing chart. Each month, they decide whether they'll use the final action dates or the dates for filing, based on how many applications are already in the pipeline. For August, we anticipate USCIS might continue to follow the final action dates for most categories, particularly in EB2 and EB3. Why? Because they're still working through a mountain of pending cases. That said, if the numbers come in lower than expected, we could see them open the filing chart to bring in more cases for processing. So it's important to check not just the DOS bulletin, but the USCIS announcement each month too. A lot of people also ask, what can I do if my priority date is still not current? That's a great question. First of all, get all your documents ready. The second your date becomes current, you don't want to be scrambling for old employment records, birth certificates, or financial documents. Also, stay connected to your lawyer or immigration advisor and double-check that your contact info with USCIS is accurate. One missed email can delay your case for months. Now, here's a big one. Don't fall for misinformation online. There's a lot of fear-mongering and rumors spreading out there. You might see people saying, no movement this year, or massive retrogression is coming. Most of the time, these are just guesses or clicks-driven noise. That's why we base our predictions on actual data, government releases, filing trends, and real-life updates from people like you. One more point, travel. If your priority date is getting close, think carefully before leaving the US, especially if you're adjusting status from within. Leaving without advance parole or during critical review periods can trigger serious delays or even risk denial. So please, always double-check with your immigration attorney before making those travel plans. So, what's the big takeaway here? August 2025 may not be a breakthrough month, but it's part of a slow and steady movement toward clearing the backlog. For many of you, this could be the month your date becomes current or at least a step closer. And with the fiscal year closing at the end of September, DOS tends to make their final big pushes in August and September. So the next 60 days are crucial. I truly believe that staying informed is the most empowering thing you can do. If you've made it this far into the video, it means you're invested in your future. You're not just waiting, you're preparing. And that mindset makes all the difference. If this video has helped you understand the process better, or made you feel a little more hopeful about your green card journey, please don't leave without hitting the like button. It tells YouTube that this content matters, and it helps us reach more people just like you who are going through this journey and need guidance and reassurance. And of course, if you want to stay updated on future visa bulletins, predictions, and immigration tips, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We're here every month, breaking it all down, so you never have to face this process alone. Thanks for watching, and hang in there. Your moment could be just around the corner.